Thanks for watching the video today. You know, there's nothing like going out and getting a food plot together, making plans, a management plan, trying to figure out how you're going to take care of the needs of your whitetail and your wildlife on your property. There's nothing like checking trail cameras and getting surveillance, trying to get a game plan together. But when it comes down to it, everything that we do in the off season is about the whitetail deer and pursuing the whitetail deer. I love hunting whitetails. Going back to when I was a little kid, sitting on a stand pre-dawn, waiting for just a glimpse of a whitetail buck or a doe, the excitement of it, the anticipation of it, the zeal that I had for the sport. That's what I love, and it never gets old. You know, I don't do it for any other reason. I don't want to try to impress anybody. I simply love whitetail. It brings me today to the topic. Today I wanted to share with you my hit list, and it's pretty small. I've got one buck that I'm really concerned about. There's several bucks that if given the opportunity I might pursue, but there's one deer that I'm going after right now, and until he's down on the ground, I'm not going to kill anything else, and that's kind of how I feel this year. But I'm after the freak. I was sitting on stand in 2018. This deer came by me. He was 2.5 years old. I immediately recognized that this deer has got potential. He's a special kind of buck. I ended up seeing this deer so much. I could sit on stand and I might see him 3 or 4 times. He was very aggressive, looking for does and involved in the rut aspect. So he was 2.5 years old. The next year at 3.5 years old, he blew up, probably about a 135-inch buck. You know, he never had really long tines, but he had just a huge frame. He was wide, he had great main beams, even at 3.5 years old, you know, for a 3.5-year-old buck. I bet they were 21 inches even then. And man, this is going to be something. We'll get ready to see him the next year. At 4.5 years of age, I got my first picture of him after he just started growing, and he was on the interior of my place down in the very bottom. And I mean, I couldn't believe it. Of course, when the buck's in velvet, their mass is greater than it is whenever they're hard-horned. But still, I was so excited about it. We have a group of guys and girls, ladies that hunt in my area that kind of have established a co-op, and we make a lot of decisions together, and we really help promote management, and we're all very passionate and very zealous about it. They're all good, well-accomplished hunters, and we kind of collectively decided, hey, we're gonna give this deer a pass this year at 4.5 years of age. I'm like, man, that's hard, but I think he's got a lot of top-end potential. We decided to pass him, and I was on to a buck called the Wide 10, and that's the buck that I was hunting. Lo and behold, the first morning of the season, I'm sitting on stand, and there's the freak. He appears, and my jaw dropped because I had not yet seen him as a 4.5-year-old with my own eyes. I've only seen trail pictures of him. And you know, trail pictures either exaggerate a deer or the opposite, underestimate, you know, what you're looking at. And it's really nothing like getting your eyes on it. But when I saw that deer, I was like, man, I might have made a huge mistake, but we're already committed to it, so here we go. I mean, he had big main beams, probably 23 inches, really good looking deer, and very wide, over 20 inches wide, inside spread. I bet he had a 22, 23 inch outside spread. He was going to score about 150 inches. Anyway, I hunted through the season, and our paths crossed, I think, 9 times maybe that I saw him on stand. I'd have to look at my notes, but even down to the last day of the season, he appeared on the far end of my place, on the north end of my place where my brother primarily hunts, and there he was. My brother had seen him a couple of times, and he had texted me and said, man, are you serious? Are we really going to pass this deer? He is tremendous. But we passed him. He survived. He did have a couple of close encounters. I know that the guys south of me who weren't in the co-op, they had seen him, and man, they thought he was 24, 25 inches wide. They'd actually missed him. He's something else. And so we passed that buck. He almost went through the season unscathed. He did have one fight that really kind of hurt him a little bit. I think it's kind of affected his rack this year just a little bit. But the tall 8, which is another buck that's on my hit list, on his right side, I'd seen where his tine, the very tip of it, had blood. It was like his G3. I believe it was, but his tip of his G3 had blood on it. The freak on the left side of his face looked like an antler had gone down inside of his eyelid and out of his cheek possibly, but didn't damage his eye, and he's fine for the most part. But his G2 on the left side is a little closer to his brow tine. It's really stunted. It's probably only about 4 inches long. So that's the buck I'm going after this year. And just like any 5.5-year-old, he has been really hard to get a pattern on. You know, I know pretty much a couple areas where he's bedding, but you know, bedding areas are like pants, you know, with us. You know, we change pants every day, and bucks can change bedding areas, you know, a little variance to it. I've never seen a buck really go down and, oh, this is my bedding area, and lay down in that same little spot where they always bed. They do like that area sometimes, and they'll be there, you know, repeatedly, and you'll see that sometimes, but they change it up. So I believe that I'm not going to give away his location, but I believe I know where he's bedding, and I know another area that he's bedding in, and it just shocked me because it's not even on my place this year at all. And he's coming in and hitting my food plot and making some appearances at some of my scouting stations where I've got corn set up. But that's the buck that I'm going to be after this year. It's going to be an exciting season, and I hope it ends well. I mean, there's a lot of anxiety, but if I don't get him, I don't get him. This buck is in at least 2 other people's hunting areas that I know of, and these people they're skilled hunters, they're killers. If he goes in front of them, he's going to have a hard time making it by. So there's a lot of tension this year to try to be there, and all you can do is just be on stand. If he makes it through the first part of the season, he's likely to survive at least till gun season. Gun season is going to put him in a very, very vulnerable state. I'm sure that he's going to get harvested by somebody this year, but hopefully it's me, and I'll rejoice with anybody that kills this buck. So thank you for watching the video today. Make it a great day. Go enjoy the outdoors, and may God bless you.